Let me just introduce our guest for the morning, the CEO for the NPAs here, the National Petroleum Authority, Lawyer Digitamaklo. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother Roland, and good morning to my two distinguished co-panelists. I want to thank you and thank the Almighty God for the benefit of today.
All right. Thank you also. I hope that all of you had a great weekend, including Lawyer Apiadamka. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning,
Another
Papa.
week.
Yeah, had a very quiet weekend. Good morning, my brother Edgy and Dog here. And good morning to your lovely viewers.
Yeah. And then also Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahing. How are you?
Papa Ro.
I hope you're well.
Yes, we thank God for life.
Great. Well, let me say good morning as well as well wishes and commiserations to the Awuno family as well as the family of Iraba Margaret Odro, who is the mother of the MD for the Bost Energies as well. That's Apechi Awuno and Lashibi Funeral Homes were there on Thursday. A lot of people couldn't even get to enter the chapel itself, but also lends credence subsequently to how you're revered by many people and respected in the petroleum downstream sector, heading boss as well. And to the family, we wish you all the best. But we have to start that discussion.
It was said on Thursday that this one was a petroleum funeral, and we all trooped in our numbers to go and give and give a befitting burial to our mother. And we thank Almighty God that the program ended very calmly and beautiful. It was a very solemn moment, you know. Right. Baro, I think that some few things have been happening in the past few days, and I think it's important that we acknowledge that. IGP Yohonu and his police management team, the men and women in uniform, have over the period done certain important arrests that gears towards making all of us safe in our homes, on our streets, among others. They have effected the arrest of some robbers who, per the police reports, have been terrorizing citizens. I make this point in sharp response to the press conference organized by the minority not long ago, led by our old mother, Madame Patricia Piaget, where the minority sought to create an incident or create an impression that there is insecurity in the country. I want to thank IGP Yohonu and his officers for these major arrests. They are geared towards making all of us safe in our homes so that we can sleep in peace. So to the men and women of the Ghana Police Service, I say ayuko and continue the good work.
Okay. Now, from what the Ghanaian embassy is saying, the overtures made to Ken Ofriatta, and he says that without the presence of his lawyers, he has a right, of course, to refuse that support. But what do you make of the narrative so far, subsequently leading to that support that had been extended to him by the Ghana embassy?
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope we will have the opportunity of maybe discussing briefly the groundbreaking payment done by the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, we'll do that for the second.
The Ministry of Energy.
So once we keep
$1.4 billion legacy debts. Our lights have been on for the past almost a year, and I want to salute the Minister of Finance and my sector minister, Honorable Abdullahi Jinapo. But that said, on the substantive matter, you see, Roland, I am a firm believer of the rule of law and the respect for same. I have, in the past 12 years, in my law practice, represented clients of diverse background, but mostly in terms of criminal defense practice, I have done a bit of work. and I have always advocated that anything that gives the ordinary Ghanaian the opportunity and the benefit of due process, that should be done. And we should never do anything to reduce those fundamental rights, particularly the constitutional provision on Article 19. And you have the benefit of the Constitution. Kindly read it for me, Article 19 of the Constitution.
So basically, I'll just go through.
And the heading relates to fair trial. Fair trial.
Fair trial.
The fair trial rules. And the reason for these fair trial rules is that it is no respecter of a person. Be you a Ken Oforiatta, be you an Eduji, be you Boahin, be you a Roland, be you what? In the superior wisdom of the framers of the 1992 Constitution, they created in it these fair trial rules. And the reason for these fair trial rules is to ensure that any Ghanaian accused of any crime whatsoever should have the benefit of due process. And these rules have been given and elevated to constitutional pedestal. And that should tell you the strength. Again, if you look at Article 14, 15, on the right of a person who is under arrest or any form of investigation, the rights that should be accorded that person. All these constitutional rights have been put in place to ensure that any Ghanaian, regardless of religion, ethnicity, status, should be given that opportunity that they will proffer a defense. Look, Roland, I recall, as defense counsel in the NCA criminal matter in 2017, I remember an episode where we went to court before my Lord Justice Chebafo, now a justice of the Court of Appeal, where in the trial, listen carefully, in the trial, we had to consult our clients in open court whether or not we should object to a piece of evidence that is being offered against them or not, right in open court. So I remember one day, Sunday, I called my brother Randolph Chumesi, and I said, Randolph, the way this trial is going on, it will not help us. Let's do something. I remember drafting an application for discovery. I sent it to my senior Justice Rimsai for his comments, among other seniors. We filed it. We appeared before Justice Chebafo and moved an application for discovery in criminal matters. When we did, the then Attorney General, Madam Gloria Kufu, came to court and they opposed that application. Roland, it took the intervention of my Lord Justice Chebafo, who saw merit in the application and said, look, I'll refer it to the Supreme Court for interpretation and direction. That is what resulted, I'm sure, in the criminal procedure class. They'll tell you the Eugene Bafo-Boni decision on discoveries. That is how we did it. And I remember in that application, the then AG opposition was that allowing discoveries in summary trials was going to be burdensome and others. Today, through that referral by my Lord Justice Chebafo, the Supreme Court today had given direction, said that in all criminal matters, be it at the District Court, Circuit Court, High Court, or whatsoever, the accused person is offered the opportunity of discoveries. That is the kind of growth, that is the kind of constitutional development that we've had over the period. Now to the specific issue of Mr. Ken Oforiatta, and I needed to give these preambles so that we would all appreciate the development that had undertaken by Ghanaians over the period. Look, Roland, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, from 2017, became the finance minister of this republic until he was replaced by the Honorable Amin Anta. Now get this, the finance minister is the protector, the number one handler of the public purse. Now, if you recall, even in the Bible, the parable of the talents, you recall Christ tells us the story of a man who gave talents to his servants. He traveled, came back, and asked those servants, what sayest thou of the talents I've given to you? Accountability. So you notice that when we created this constitution, we provided in it that the governing principles underpinning this constitution shall be: one, probity, to probe, to ask questions; two, accountability, to account for your stewardship.
And you're saying this in relation to Ken Ofori-Atta?
Ken Ofori-Atta. So you notice that the governing principles underlining our current constitutional architecture is probity, accountability, and social justice. The reason for this principle should never be lost on any of us public officers. Not long ago, I had to appear before the Public Accounts Committee, but for some reason, my deputy had to go to account for the work I do. And that's why the name of the committee is what? Public Accounts Committee. Accountability. Now, in the specific case of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, you have been the person who, for all this period, have signed all onto our monies, committed this government, or the government of the Republic of Government, to Ghana, to financial commitments over the period. In fact, the law of what? The Public Financial Management Act is a Ministry of Finance Act. Now you have a situation where you have just been asked, come and account for your stewardship. The public fund that came into your hands, how you utilize it. Initially, we were told that you were not well, and so you needed medical assistance abroad.
His lawyer does indicate that he's recuperating and would only leave the jurisdiction based on his medical practitioner's advice.
You see, there is a statement by the Law Office of Menka Primo. Read it. You have it. Now, if you read that statement from the Law Office of Menka Primo, it is the mark of sheer insincerity on the part of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. That statement from the Law Office of Menka Primo puts the Ken Ofori-Atta narrative that he was not well, he was sick, and therefore needed medical attention into a different perspective. Because in that statement by the Law Offices of Menka Primo, they say Ken Ofori-Atta today is asking the United States authority to change his status. That is insincerity to the highest order.
How is that?
At the time,
because according to the statement,
carefully,
it says that it has a pending petition for adjustment of status.
Can you imagine this?
Is he not entitled
to have
that right?
That is the height of dishonesty. That is the height of insincerity. At the time, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta wrote to the former chief of staff, Madame Fremont Parry, to permit him to travel abroad. It was for medical purposes. You get your treatment, you come back. You are now writing to the U.S. officers, and your lawyers have confirmed it, that the reason is that you want to adjust your status. You now want green card. You now want permanent residence. That is the mark of dishonesty. And we should not tolerate this.
Is he not entitled to
what it means is that when he said he was going to the United States of America for medical purposes, it was a ruse to escape from accountability.
That he had other ulterior motives beyond that?
And look, the lawyers for him, I wish they never wrote this statement. But it is good for public accounts. Because per this statement, his lawyers voluntarily are now telling the people of this country that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta now wants green card. He wants permanent residence.
It's not been specified that.
No, but that's what it is. If you went with B1, B2 visas and now you want an adjustment, effectively what you are asking for is you want permanent residence. Why do you think Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta now wants to run away from the properties he had acquired?
I don't understand.
His own house at Labone here. Why is his own house now becoming like a hunting ground? like a ghost, like ghost haunting him. You see, I have always maintained, and as a public official, I'm always minded about one thing. There is a day, like the Bible, a day for judgment, a day for accountability. So whatever we are doing, we are minded by this sacred thing. Now, you see, the reason why it's important that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is made to come back to Ghana to face his stewardship, to account for that stewardship, you know why? It's a lesson to all of us public officials. And Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has become a bad influence.
How do you mean by a bad influence?
A bad influence in the sense that today, Eduji here, if I'm giving public responsibility, I know tomorrow I will escape from justice.
How so?
I'll run to Togo. I won't go to America.
In the
I'll go
pictures
to
that
Togo.
you're unwell?
Yes. Maybe for me, I'll go for herbal medicine and go to Togo. At least the Atama close and Noche and the rest. So I'll go and stay there.
As well.
And Benin, the Home Republic, where Agokoli used to be. I mean, that's going back home. Roland, what it tells you is that he had become a bad example for public office holders.
I don't understand. That if you are supposed to account, then you run away?
You run away.
Oh, Eduji.
No, but what is it? And you see, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is not just any minister. He was the finance minister. Now look at our political history. From 1992, the Minister of Finance up to 1996 was Mr. Kwesi Botwe. Correct?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Subsequently, it became Richard Kwampepra.
Yeah.
Nana Osafo Mafo. Then Kwejo Baredu. And we've had it till now.
Yeah.
Each one of them stayed in this country to go through the rigors of accountability. See,
but Ken Ofori-Atta is a man
who
is not one who is not accustomed to the environment of the United States. Indeed, went to school there.
You know, Ken Ofori-Atta's own father was a finance minister, Jones Ofori-Atta.
Sure.
After his stewardship, he didn't run away. He stayed in this country. In fact, he was MP.
He subsequently even contested MPP presidential candidate.
Now, you know the intriguing part of this conversation, Roland.
Eddie Jirapa for me.
I will. Is the fact that Minister Kwampepra went through prosecution. Incidentally, do you know who prosecuted Minister Kwampepra? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as Attorney General. Yes. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President investigated Mr. Setekwe. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President investigated Honorable Ato-Forson. In fact, I remember vividly going to Yoko with Honorable Ato-Forson in November 2017. In fact, when we went to Yoko
November 2017?
2017, for 4 years, Honorable Ato-Forson was never called again by Yoko. You know what happened? E-levy, the budget was read on the 19th November 2021. That had in it E-levy. Ranking on Finance, Honorable Ato-Forson raised an issue about the fact that E-levy was going to destroy the entire ecosystem. What happened? On 25th, so budget 19th, 25th November 2021, I was there when now Speaker Bagbe called that Yoko had written to him that they should allow Ato-Forson to come back 4 years after an investigation, simply because Ken Ofori-Atta was annoyed that Honorable Ato-Forson had committed on the E-levy. Just then, in Speaker Bagbe's conference room, Ato was charged.
And you represented him?
I was with him there.
You were his lawyer?
I was with him. And for almost 4 years, from 2021, until the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged him, we were going to court back and forth. So if Minister Ato-Forson can stay in this country for 8 solid years, Minister Setekwe 8 solid years, and went through the full rigors of the law. What is so unique? I have heard the other narrative that it is witch hunting. So far, who has investigated Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta? The Office of the Special Prosecutor, correct? October 2017, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo assented to the act establishing the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Did Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the NPP in 2017 set up that office to witch hunt people?
I don't understand.
That is the office that is prosecuting and investigating him. And so where from this narrative of witch hunting? Now, I'll conclude finally on this. President John Dramani Mahama, who even became president of this republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wrote to the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate him and his family.
What's your point with this?
The point is that even the president, the former president, OSP, went to him, took his statement in the company of his lawyers. Due process. What is so unique about Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta?
I don't understand.
That he cannot.
Is that what you're claiming?
Even a former president, non-minister, former president, went through the full rigors of Ghanaian criminal law and came out clean. Does it not, is the impression not being created that if you are running away, it means you have committed some offense?
Who is creating that impression? He hasn't created that impression. Indeed, the onus lies with.
Why do you go for lawyers like?
With the prosecution.
Why do you go for lawyers like
to
John?
Prove beyond all reasonable
Why do you
doubt?
go for lawyers like John Ashcroft and the rest? If everything that you have done is above board.
But he's entitled to legal counsel.
And you see, in the specific case of a finance minister, what makes his role unique is that, like the wife of Caesar, you need to live above reproach. Of all ministers, the one that have direct financial fiduciary responsibility is that of the finance minister. And so I think that it's even in the interest of my brother's political party, the NPP, that Ken Ofori-Atta comes and account. So that in 2028, when you are campaigning, Ghanaians will not believe that if you vote for NPP in a very long future, their finance ministers will run away from accountability.
Dr. Kwakubwahi has joined us. How are you? Where's Ken now?
Ken is in Accra.
Okay.
We're doing the Ayawaso block within this week. What we did is that we didn't finish Greater Accra, and we had to go into Ashanti region and come back.
Okay.
So
you're combining those two strong regions.
Yes. And then.
What's the response so far?
Oh, it's been good.
Okay.
It's been so massive.
All right.
Yeah.
And his comments as well as his campaign videos are replayed on social media as well, particularly TikTok. Fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going so well.
The suggestion that, well, he has to come in country for accountability, so to speak, also cannot be justified, is it? Because he hasn't been proven to be guilty or otherwise.
So let me wish you a good morning once again, and to say emphatically that I align entirely with the views shared here, as in so well articulated here by my learned friend Eduji Tamaklo, and to say that over the between 2017 and 2024, we saw a government that in its dealings, in how it managed Ghana, behaved in a manner or governed Ghana in a manner that was adverse to our common agenda. That was adverse to the values, principles, and ideals clearly stated under our constitution. Because, like Eduji rightly said, one of the very core values that underpinned our 1992 constitution are the values, one of a firm belief in the principles of the rule of law. I know that one of the fundamental principles of the rule of law is a belief that we are all equal before the law. We are all equal before the law. and 2, believe in the principle of probity and accountability. So that on 7 January 2017 and 7 January 2021, when Anado took his oath of office, among the things he vowed to do was one, to...
I shall protect the public purse.
Even beyond that, he said he was going to protect, defend, and preserve the laws of Ghana. He said he was going to be faithful to Ghana. And that meant that he was going to be faithful to the values of Ghana. One of the core values were the values of probity and accountability. You recall that Anado made it one of his core political mandates in his bid to protect the public purse, in his bid to uphold the principles of probity and accountability, the creation of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So in 17 October 2017, right, Anado assented to the act that created the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think when he assented to that office, he showed his first act of unfaithfulness. Because he, being an astute lawyer, he knew that to create a body whose purpose was to be independent, to be non-partisan, and to be independent, then that body ought to have been created by an amendment of the Constitution.
Because Article 88?
Because of Article 88, the OSP is not independent. And you see that weakness in the OSP, in how Ken's case was issued, as it has been handled.
You mean the SMO case?
All the cases that the OSP, this current OSP, were cases that were done before February 2024. Because Ken resigned February 2024. I find it strange. I find it very strange that it had to take more than almost 2 years before charges were preferred against Ken. And you see, when Ken was leaving Ghana, the OSP was aware. He didn't do anything. I think I said it here. It's very strange that the OSP suddenly has the cojones to bring charges against Ken. But he will do that because it might be, there's absolutely no commitment to hold Ken himself accountable. That's what Ken, I don't want to talk about him. Because clearly he's running away. You understand? Clearly he's running away.
He's running, huh?
Oh, he's running away.
The narrative is that he's entitled to
listen, he's running away.
Petition the United States for his visa status.
You see, in January, when Ken wrote the letter to the chief of staff, or when the OSP came out, Ken in that letter said he was leaving Ghana indefinitely. No, so indefinitely.
For medical treatment.
Indefinitely. That's what he said. That was a clear intention that, listen, I'm leaving your jurisdiction. I have created a hole worth $97 million. I'm leaving your country. I have masterminded the SML deal. Millions of dollars lost to the state. I'm leaving your country. PDS. I've sat down and masterminded PDS. I'm leaving your country. I'm leaving your country. I won't come clearly. But you see, when it comes to upholding the principles of probity and accountability, yes, that duty falls on all public officials. But the institutions created to uphold those values failed us. Have you heard of the Obotan case? You know about the Obotan case?
Very well.
Are you not concerned that in spite of the Obotan case, in 2021, Ken was passed by the Parliament of Ghana to continue being a minister? Were you not worried? Even when he had 137.
Well, he went through the process.
And were you not worried that he was allowed to sail
The
to...
appointment
Was it Suhini also who brought up
Were you not
Obotan during
allowed...
the
Were you
vetting?
not
And we ignored it.
You understand? Because, see, we've created the institution to uphold the principles of probity and accountability. It is for those purposes why we took upon ourselves a constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy simply means that what? Limiting powers of government. Yeah, I understand. So the executive does not have all the powers. We gave Parliament powers to serve as a check on the executive, to uphold the principle of probity and accountability. And in spite of that, our Parliament sat down and passed Ken when clearly we had the Obotan case. That meant that when it came to the question of integrity, he had something to answer. The question of integrity. He had something to answer. And yet Parliament sat down and allowed. Now, there's something that the NDC is doing very well. Because you see, I say so many times here that we do not give executive powers to the political party. We give executive powers to an individual. However, that individual is sponsored by a political party. And he's sponsored by the political party with the understanding that he's going to uphold the values and principles of that political party. And so there is a duty on the political party that where the president is sponsored is delivering a governance system, is delivering governance, one, which is adverse to the country, two, which is adverse to the party's stated principles, then the party has an obligation to call that government out. You recall that last year, the chairman of the NDC, Esedu Nketia, called some judge to order on some issues. You've heard the general secretary of the NDC. And I must commend him for his stances he's taken. You understand? That he's not going to support any three-term agenda. Okay. So that is a responsible party. The MPP,
94 MP.
The MPP sat down and allowed Nanado to deliver, together with Ken, you understand, to deliver governance which, in all intents and purposes, was adverse to the interest of the country. You understand? Indeed, then those 94 MPs showed their dishonesty to the country. Because, you see, you claim that you want the finance minister out because he's not working for the interest of the country. Should it matter that members of the minority,
the vote of censure,
members of the minority, when they've taken steps, you understand, to remove, what's it called, the said minister you claim was not good for the country, and immediately the minority take those steps, you suddenly go and support or oppose the attempt to remove. So then, what is your interest? Is your interest Ghana? And so what was the honesty or integrity in your call on the president to remove the minister? The MPP did this country a massive evil. Massive evil. Without this whole...
Being what?
Exactly. This whole Ken, and I'm telling you that, so they are one.
Because he hasn't been charged with any...
He's been charged. Ken,
criminal
charges, except that they haven't served him. But I'm saying that, you see, we sat down and allowed this man, we all claimed was not good for the country, and evidence are there. You have the case of the DDEP, the fact that monies were taken from our pockets. You have the criminal manner in which our economy was run for 8 years under his watch.
You see, me, I would even urge caution on this note, that as learned friends, he's going to get the benefit of due process. You come, Keke, you come. Let's use brass band and things to go and meet you at the airport.
But you see, there's an onus. There's an onus. There's an onus on government. There's an onus on government to uphold the principles of probity and accountability. There's a duty on government
through the Attorney General
and the OSP, whatever. Because see, it's not just about Ken coming, but you must first of all, we were criminally negligent in allowing him to leave the jurisdiction in the first place. But he having left, is that right now we are debating because the USA are not taking action they are taking because of Ghana. They are taking the action they are taking. They are revoking. In fact, the Attorney General is claiming
of clear breaches.
No. I think that we should set that record straight. I know on authority that the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana reached out to the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy reached out to the State Department. The State Department revoked the license, specifically revoked the visa. There was a specific revocation. Okay. And then they permitted him that, you can come back voluntarily. It is when he failed by November that in January the 6th.
Then engendered this.
Exactly. So there has been specific intervention by government of Ghana.
So if you listen to the Attorney General on Saturday, he made a claim that they revoked his visa June 2025.
Yeah, it was in July, actually.
Now he refused to give the reasons for those revocation.
No, it's because of the pending.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but in that interview, he refused to give. But having said that, like I'm saying, we have failed government. When I say government here, it's not about MPP or NDC, because like I said, Ken Ofori-Atta left office February 2024. Government sat down and allowed Ken to leave. Simple, what's called extradition action. There's a massive back and forth on it, as if there's no commitment on the part of government. Yeah, because OSP is government, for instance. You recall the Deputy Attorney General having issues with the OSP's refusal to give them dockets so that they can facilitate extradition, processes. You understand? So for me, for Ken, he's running away. He's told you he's running away. He doesn't want to come. So you can call on Ken. His lawyers have told you clearly that the man, he won't come clearly. But the onus is on governments to do all in their power, you understand, in fulfillment of their mandates, to be upholders of the principles and values of probity and accountability, to get Ken here so that he accounts. Otherwise, you heard the MPP, one of the MPP officials saying on Saturday that there's nothing
Which MPP official?
I don't remember his name, but there's nothing in our laws that mandates that.
Roland,
Roland,
you are the moderator. Kindly read here for me. The preamble.
Let me finish on this. Let me finish.
Read the preamble.
We all heard an NDC senior man say that there's nothing in the laws of Ghana.
I mean MPP.
MPP. As MPP. What did I say?
NDC.
Oh, no, it's not NDC.
Please conclude for me.
We all heard the MPP. In fact, is it Mesa? Itapa Mesa. Say that there's nothing in the laws of Ghana that mandates us to hold political leadership accountable.
Oh, how?
Yeah, he said it over the weekend. You understand? But those thinking, those statements will have sway if we do not set a clear precedent with Ken Ofori-Atta's matter.
Maybe we have
So the preamble, what's the essence of reading that?
Please read
okay. So the preamble, it says, in the spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, then in solemn declaration and affirmation of our commitment to freedom, justice, probity, and accountability.
Fantastic.
Why is okay? I've gotten your point now. But Dr.
There's
Tsubwai,
clear understanding of what he said.
Maybe
the lawyers.
No, it's not misconstrued.
Those who tend to support him. Hearing it's not everyone within even the opposition MPP that seem to be backing the narrative. Say that he's entitled to, well, whether change his immigration status or make a decision that you can try me in absentia because I have my legal team to respond to whatever allegations or charges that will be leveled against me in court. And rightfully, going by the same constitution, he's entitled to that, is he not?
Good morning to our good selves and then good morning to our viewers. And good morning to the Apostolic Church, Ghana, my area church, North Canadian Assembly. Good morning to everyone. And
You're
good
an
morning
Assemblies of God man?
No, Apostolic
Church.
Ghana. Apostle. And good morning to my constituency at University of Education, Winnipeg. Special regards to everyone. School has reopened, and I'm hopeful that, as usual, we are going to deliver, to the best that our students can gain from us. Roland, I think that from day one, I've maintained this position.
What's your position? I don't remember your position.
That Ken should come to Ghana on his free will, present his charges, or probably defend his charges, And if he feels that he's still not well and may want to go and then continue with the self-care, he could seek the permission of the courts. As it were, allow his lawyers to handle the case whilst he's absent. I think I made that point clear on this platform. And I think that some other people have echoed that position. that Ken, in his own best interest, should come. At least if you believe that you have not committed any crime, there's no point, for you to sit in another man's country, for you to go through, such processes to the point that, immigration and custom enforcement agencies would have to apprehend you, put you in custody, And from what we have heard from the AG's office, it appears that there is a kind of collaboration between his office and the United States, immigration enforcement agencies, to get his visa revoked and probably facilitate, his extradition to Ghana. I feel that, for me, Ken, I still maintain that position, that if he would come to Ghana on his free will, to face whatever charges, it will be good. It will be very good for his own image.
Why is that important or critical to the narrative, so to speak?
Yes, so my point is that, look, Edwiji was trying to make a point that, look, some kind of precedent is being set that if he, as a CEO, if he embezzles or he is, alleged to have been involved in some level of underdealings.
As an appointee or public officer.
Exactly. He can run to Togo. You understand? And, when it gets to that point, then what...
the Akano border.
Yes. Akano border. Okay. But you will not go through Aplau.
I'll just enter like that.
Aplau will be dangerous for you. Yeah.
Or I'll go through Nkwanta.
That is,
then you, then they are saying.
That is unapproved. That is unapproved.
So I prefer the unapproved one.
So you see,
Akano is unapproved.
I am of the belief that for his own image, his own credibility, for the sake of the MPP party, I believe that he could come and make a case for himself. You see, this is also one thing. I think you asked about the significance of whatever is happening to the narrative now. I mean, it is one thing that every public officer in Ghana, within this current government, and other subsequent governments that will come, should take lessons from. The point is that is why the Constitution of Ghana or, government find it necessary to pay the appointees very well. And some of them have other benefits, other allowances for their house helps and all that. And so if you are paid very well, the wisdom is that you serve this country and serve this country very well. All right. And it's also very important for us to note that as a public officer, your first responsibility is to the states. And so every decision that you are taking it for the good of the people. All right. And so if you pick a decision where, the nation will not benefit, people will not benefit, and it causes some level of injury, to the states, and it brings personal benefits to you, then, of course, you are putting your interests first. In that case, if you are not careful, you'll be tried. All right? Charges will be preferred against you, of which probably you may feel that you are not answerable. But, of course, we've seen, is it causing financial loss to the states? Some time ago, right?
It is still on our books.
Okay. So I believe that in the best interest of whoever is serving in this government, I think that you need to look beyond your personal interest. And you need to focus on Ghana as a nation. And so a decision that we take should bring that kind of benefit, progress to this country. I believe strongly that for now, if you check whatever discussion that is going on, all the debates, obviously it is clear that I wouldn't say that the majority of the MPP people, are in defense of Kenuforiata. But then that suggests that, look, if you are in government and then you conduct yourself in such a way that almost everybody, within your own circles believe that you didn't do the right thing. Of course, when there's problem, no one defends you, all right? And so that is why I like it when
Have you also observed that seemed to be the case?
I'm coming. Let me. The president, John Dramani Mahama, has said that, look, if you misconduct yourself, you are alone.
That is if you are his appointee.
Exactly. You are alone. All right. And I want to see that, look, that pronouncement, that public pronouncement, which has been backed by the General Secretary of the NDC, anyone who misconducts himself, okay, should equally be dealt with.
But he has the record of prosecuting his own.
Yes.
There's Abuga Pele who even went to jail, etc.
I know. Okay. I know. But you see, that was in the previous government, isn't it? The first term. Okay. So coming into this term, we want to see that kind of action being enforced. All right. And with this record of Abuga Pele, okay, I am saying that the 2025, governments, should still hold on to this particular, belief that he is a president who stand by his word, and that his appointees, should also know. I have followed certain directions, and I am tempted to believe that the president this term is not just sitting in his office and, delivering governance. But I know and I've heard that he meets his appointees from time to time. And any time that they meet, he signals them about being careful on issues of corruption. All right. And Roland, if you have checked carefully, for the past 5 elections, corruption has always been one of the first 3 reasons why people vote. You understand? It's either it becomes the leading factor, or sometimes the second or the third factor. And that means that Ghanaians are not happy with government officials who misconduct themselves relating to, corruption and all that. The dangers of corruption to this country is enormous. All right. And you can see the amount of monies, where you said, Roland, the amount of money that we lose, every year or during every term of a government through corruption. If these monies can be saved and channeled into development, I think that we wouldn't be where we are as a country. We probably might have gone ahead, might have reduced unemployment, might have, implemented certain policies, that will lift Ghana up to the next level. Again, you see, I want to see, an era where government officials, can probably come to a table like this and probably say that this is what I've done, that is what I've done, I've been able to save X amount of money, during my tenure of office, and then be more accountable to the people of Ghana. If not, you could always go to the Accountant General's Department, issue your expenditure, your books, for publication. And that will add some level of respect and credibility to your image, as lawyer Eduji. All right. And I think last week there was some posts, I think on one of the online, platforms, asking for who your best appointee or minister is for the first 1 year in office. All right. And you see, some of these things, when done, when you submit yourself to purposes of accountability, purposes of probity, and social justice, right? It gives it actually lifts your image, and people will begin to respect you and all that. And you wouldn't go through such, ridicule when you leave office. I am not saying that Kenneth Ofori-Atta has committed crime A or crime B, because as at now, he has not been charged.
Yeah.
Even though I hear that there are some cases that he's being tried in absentia in Ghana. I don't know how truthful it is. I mean, when I was following this platform on Saturday, I think that someone made that case that, there are certain cases in there. But I believe that Ken should in any way be able to come to Ghana, not to be deported, but he should be able to come.
Okay.
And then on his free will, face whatever charge that
Dr.
is
Kwekubwai.
against him.
Yes, sir.
Ken Ofori-Atta. I've seen a number, Obama Pukwase even writes that he doesn't care. All white worrying. A number of people don't seem to, even from the MPP itself.
I understand Ken had promised that he'll bring him back if he's giving the MPP flag.
Who, Kenny Japan?
Yeah.
He hasn't said that.
That's
He's
also-
committing you. This one, wrong political communication message. Don't fall for it.
For this one.
But just give me your 2 cents quickly, so I'll move on to the next one.
Ken has not said
Yeah, the
Good
Ken
morning
member.
to
Ken in
my
Ghana.
co-panelist here, and then to the good people of Amasaman. My coordinators back in Amasaman, Prince, Udru, Prince Dakon, and Alaji Arafa, Congo Soja, I call him. They've been good with respect
And
to
they're
our
part of the Ken
campaigns.
camp?
Yes, in Amasaman constituency. They've done so well. I will do it, Munabudi Love, all of you have been so
Your time is
massive.
good. You're doing shout out.
In our output out there. It's rather unfortunate what happened on Tuesday when some of my coordinators were handled by the other people, but this is...
I think we need to find the time to discuss the MPP primaries.
And then I wish
How many days more?
It's 19 days.
So your people were beaten, eh?
I wish Alaji Arafa speedy recovery.
Internal politics.
Let me come back to you.
So is it Brian Camp that's beating the Ken Camp or Baumiao?
It was actually an unnecessary incident. That should be
MPP beat
Next week we'll
Is it
discuss that.
Bawumia beating you or-
MPP.
Please go ahead. Please,
alone.
Ken Ofori-Atta.
You see, this Ken Ofori-Atta's arrest, actually for us, for me, as a person, it has a significant implications for Ghana's governance, actually, particularly in the fight against corruption. It's a test towards our transparency, our accountability, and then I believe that his arrest on the 6th of January was as a result of an application that was actually done by the Minister for Justice, that as part of us, Ghana trying to get the US to repatriate him, to extradite him back into Ghana. It was written, and then they actually revoked his visa, the U.S. visa back in July 2025. And it was given up until 29th of November to whether sort it out or leave U.S. and come back home. Our elders have an adage. They say, you baby, I baby.
So we need to every US. No, I'm going to
Kudos one in Trabako and Yenungwasi.
Oh,
Sana
will catch them. Former finance minister.
It is
Daniel Amachi, they had this song on the same thing. Yeah.
So you see, it does make a lot of sense that a former finance minister of Ghana languished in the detention of Caroline detention facility in Virginia because his visa has been revoked, and instead of coming back into Ghana, he still feels charges his lawyers to apply for an extension on medical grounds, which I know the court is going to sit on this on Monday, next week Monday on the 20th January in the US, and then they will look at this. But then for me, the implications are straightforward. You see, accountability-wise, that it shows that we as a people must be ready to account for our stewardship. You see, the very moment you took a public office to protect our money, to control the finances of Ghana, you should be ready that when the day of reckoning comes, when you are called upon to come and account for whatever that you did in government, you don't run away from it. It baffles me why Nana Ofuriatta will go through all these things. This is Ghana. Why is he running away from Ghana? His family, his father, his brothers, they are all here. So what shadows are there? You see, his lawyers in the affidavit are saying that the political witch hunting and then all that. Listen, let us be blunt with ourselves. If there are witches, they must be hunted.
Really?
Yes.
Is it your position or is
that is my position?
Ken Camp
No,
position?
this is my personal position. I have said it on a number of occasions here on this platform. That for me, but for me, I believe that if you've taken up...
When there's a witch in your family,
You must handle it.
Yes. If there are witches, we must hunt them. But then if he has not done anything, why is he running away from his own shadows? You see, we as a... Yes, let me say it bluntly. I've always said it. That my sympathy, my family is the NPP, and I will not run away from it. Okay? We must call on Nana Ofuriatta to come back and account for his stewardship in the best interest of NPP.
Why?
We commit a very big blunder if we appoint people, and when it is time for people to account for whatever positions they held in Ghana, and then they'll find themselves out of Ghana on some flimsy excuses. As yes, if he's not well, he can seek medical attention. But then, has it not been too long a time?
No, even the letter from his lawyer, is to the effect that the man is changing his status of a green card. Or the heading.
He needs to come.
No, change your status, green card.
Whether we like it or yes.
Even the beginning said he's going indefinitely.
Whether we like it or yes, public trust.
he has to come.
The trust of Ghanaians.
Would you leave lettering job to go for green card?
Oh, no.
The trust of Ghanaians. A lot of Ghanaians out there are watching. They are listening.
Especially young people.
Yes. And then they want to know what will be the implication, the integrity of our institution. a political party. They are watching.
Why?
Listen, Ghana
Yes,
is what we sign on to serve.
Okay.
Ghana is what we sign on to protect our public purse, to protect the integrity of Ghana. So if one person would bring us down, we need to call him to come and account for his stewardship. I believe that if there is nothing, if he has done nothing, why is he running away from his own shadows? Doc, Prof, catch it.
No, but
And
that's what I
you see,
said.
I know the lawyers he already has here in Ghana who are willing and able
And
to
defend.
you see,
defend him.
when we talk about that,
And nobody can do him anything.
this extradition process thing
We are
that
concluding.
we're talking about is an issue of where we seeing that probably the charges that have been made against him, you need to show evidence.
Yeah.
And if your evidence is not strong, do you think the U.S. would have revoked his visa?
It means that in their preliminary assessment, they see there is merit.
There's merit. That is why they revoked his visa. It was just not revoked. And then in any of these things, you need the U.S. to cooperate with you. And then U.S. government will have to. The name of this game is evidence.
Yeah.
And if your evidence is strong, it means the U.S. will act. And that is why we have come this far. Is it next week on 20th? If I think that he should just call his lawyers and then do the needful. Come back into Ghana and answer these charges.
But Roland, do you know that some other MPP, people who have been charged, have sat down with the AG, to, discuss,
yes,
Agree on.
agree on certain terms.
All right.
And I hear that
and
there's some.
Let me discuss the finance ministry, please.
And Roland,
Finance ministry.
So we'll do the finance.
Yeah, they paid $1.4 billion.
Yes, like I said
to
earlier,
clear Ghana's energy
power
debts.
producers. And the beautiful thing with our system of governance is that the criminal charges are not going to be decided in Ahimfie.
Okay. Please put it on.
It's not a mob justice. You go to court, your lawyers will apply for bail. What can a judge do than to grant you bail?
So
then the case will take its normal course.
So this is energy enough.
Is there,
So all of you say that you should come.
No, the
So
thing is that.
you say you should come.
Me, I've said it from day one.
You too.
If your records,
what do you say?
if your records, Roland,
I ask questions.
Roland, if your
I'm not supposed
records,
to hold
if your records
a position.
is anything,
Roland is
that
The
among
ministry-
the people who
the
believe that
ministry-
there is no law on accountability in Ghana. Are you? I am putting it
No,
to you.
I'm not one of those.
Very well.
The Ministry of Finance has
so you
just-
agree that he shouldn't come?
Now it's your turn. You're questioning me. You're putting me in the corner.
When the hunter become hunted.
so the finance ministry, based on instruction, has paid 1.47 billion to clear the energy
Abam
sector
Papa
debt,
Ba.
restore World Bank guarantee within first year, and this is based on assurances from the president at the time that he was sworn into office. It was signed to guarantee payments to project partners, particularly when it comes to all the relevant partners. A partial risk guarantee established in 2015 under the previous government, and then also subsequently to make sure the private sector, when it comes to energy, was not undermined. And the bulk, we also have the independent power generators or producers also issuing a statement to confirm the settlement. And they say they particularly recognize the strategic role played by the Ministry of Finance in mobilizing and deploying this as a significant resources to the power players. Just 4 minutes on this, please, so that we can...
Today, I have never done this before.
4
but
minutes.
Today, I just want to stand up
Oh.
and salute my sector minister, Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor. Immediately he took over as Minister for Energy. He put up a team to meet the independent power producers, to negotiate with them, and even beyond the payment, there had been significant savings that were made under the able leadership of the Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor. Today, the record of the energy sector is stability. Yes. These independent power producers today, their bankers and everything are short. You know, in the finance minister's statement, he made a very profound, revelation, which has to do with the World Bank guarantee for those projects and the drawdowns. For 8 years, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo economic management team led by Dr. Bawumia and co. were just drawing down on the guarantee. Today, we have restored the guarantee to good health. And not only that, we have paid in excess of $300 million to the independent power producers. Car Power, AXA, Early Power, Senate, all of them have been paid significant monies. And to further demonstrate that what Minister Atuforsin said is not a lie, the Chamber of Independent Power Producers, the IPPG or something, they have issued a statement this morning confirming the significant payment. Do you know that by reason of this payment alone, even the banks will also be paid? Persons who supply fuel and others to the independent power producers, they also be paid. So the impact of this $1.4 billion payment, and people are asking, what was happening? What was happening?
No, but isn't also true that if you're able to manage the rate, the forex, in a way that there's continuous stability for some time, then you'll be in a position to...
Who did that work? Who did that work? Is it not John Mohammed's leadership? That's why yesterday I saw some theatrics. One of your flag bearers, one of the aspirants, and they were saying that they were doing people's... What is happening? No room for gendarme. This time around, we are very focused. And I conclude on this. Look, you remember one minority leader saying that the city is stable because we are not paying and government is not spending.
Yes.
All these monies, what are they? They are expenditure.
You mean the minority leader said that?
Osahini. Oh, okay, my senior at the bar. And look at what he said. That it is because government is not spending. Look at the monies that we put into energy alone. And so when President Mahama, with the support of the good people of this country, with the 1 CD, you remember?
The 1 CD. Yeah.
The 1 CD.
The 1 CD that we discussed here.
Yes, significantly. All of these have together resulted in this massive payment, the legacy debts and everything. And I think, Roland, you should applaud President Mahama for this. Aban Papa Abba. Thank you.
According to the independent power producers, this is going to free up the space, and then also their debt obligations will be met. You know, their creditors, they say, are on their neck, and according to the statements, potentially also means that it restores financial stability for the producers.
So what I'm saying, when I said that Nanado and his people handled the economy criminally, Eduji didn't want me to say it, but there's evidence.
But sustainability is needed.
So you first of all,
you know, in the beginning, they said the CD it will not be sustainable.
In fact,
now 1 year has passed.
Even beyond that, last year January by this time, we were made to believe that Dumso was going to kick us to start. You all recall last year by this time.
Meetings back and forth to meet the back.
The MPP government. Some elements in MPP made us to believe that immediately His Excellency John Mahama took over office, Dumso was going to start. Not so. Now, what even amazes me is all these massive achievement has been done without us going to borrow any money. You understand? It tells you that the black man, after all, is capable of managing his own affairs only if we have commitment. Because like I said, the biggest problem we had, the biggest issue we had, were people who took over this government and had an agenda which was adverse to our common agenda.
Went for Esla bond, Dachi bond, every bond,
And then,
bond.
you understand,
Nothing had come out of
they
it.
did energy sector recovery program. Came up with some plenty, and they did address to what the energy sector recovery program.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, you are asking for sustainability.
Yes.
And so they must continue doing what they are doing. You understand? One, the role of government in every economy is in two folds: the monetary policy and what's called the fiscal policy. We are saying we are attributing the radical gains made to a reduction in the or the appreciation of the cedi. You understand? So whatever they are doing, they should do it, and we should support them. Now, and one last thing, this year won't allow for Jandam. Like he said, he mentioned him. Eduji is very charitable. You know, he's. I'm not saying I'm not a gentleman. Or maybe he's more of a gentleman than I am. But over the weekend, we heard Dennis Mirakosabachi say that the
People's Forum.
Yeah, you understand?
Pure gendarme.
No, you see.
Ghana was hard.
See,
they
so
brought those who sold posts.
So listen, it is.
Spare parts dealers.
You know, I've defined politics. I've quoted Aristotle. The reason why we do politics is to create a strong state. Now that means that even you in opposition, you're doing politics. You must have that focus in mind. So you must do what? Responsible opposition. You must not condemn or oppose for opposition's sake. Said that what? Facts are sacred, but comments are free. Yes, these are factual issues. The fact is, in spite of the dire economic situation we were in, what's called the independent contractors, they have been paid. In spite of the dire economic situation we were in, what's called government has restored the guarantee. So we recommend government for this. And like we said, whatever it is that they are doing, they must continue doing the same.
Sustainability. What would be your clarion call? Because usually we go on this thread, maybe election year, we just go off tangent.
Yeah, so for me, goodwill has been shown, right? And I think that when we were discussing about, some time ago, that one CD on
the liter.
on the liter, I did some mathematics in here. And then I think that Eduji and his people understood it. Obviously, we are seeing some good signs. So for me, it's about accountability, that probably will lead to sustainability. Obviously, this debt should be cleared, and that Ghana will be free from this kind of mess
Forever.
That we are facing, so that any other government that comes can equally build on the legacies that has been left. But if it turns out that whatever is being taken from consumers, whatever increases that consumers are sacrificing to pay, end up in the pockets of certain individuals, and it is not used for the purpose and intentions with which these taxes and monies were collected, then of course it will be a great disservice to the country. I believe that the government has stated that it is building a Ghana that we all want, all right? And so what the desires of Ghanaians are is that we will not be going through doomsday. We will not be going through, any, light off and experiencing power crisis and all that. Remember that industries, would flourish. Manufacturing would perform when there is stable, energy. Energy brings about, free movements of goods and services, and it takes away, extra charges that consumers will be paying and all that. So these are issues that the government should bear in mind and ensure that they go ahead to clear the debts, that we have within the sector, so that the independent power producers would also be free to produce energy for us, and then Ghana, will not go through such crisis again.
Okay, Dr. Edubwai, What do you make of this? Sustainability, making sure that we don't derail what the whole economic policy is, making sure the fiscal regime is also as tight as it should be, rationalization.
For me, I think it's a good thing that when you owe, you need to finance them and then ensure that you pay your debt. So for financial stability and an international confidence in our system is worthy of note that the ministry has come up with this. But I'm not surprised because when you make significant gains with respect to our surge in the sale of gold and then the ministry, the Bank of Ghana releasing about $10 billion into the system. Yeah. Some of these things, like I mentioned the last time when we were here, and then you didn't understand where I was going ahead in, that the money that were being released by the Bank of Ghana, the 10 billion to support the system, is to also assure some of these creditors that we have the money to pay, and then we will make sure that we pay you. And exactly what I predicted, that is what is happening now, that almost about 1.4 billion out of it has been ceded to paying all these people. In fact, even the World Bank is also entitled to a part. Almost about $500 million going to the World Bank partial risk guarantees, and then the 480 million.
You guys depleted it
to ENI and Vitol. You see, so definitely, the very moment we are making some money and gains out of the forex, we should be able to be sorting some of these things out. So it's a good thing. I think sustaining it and then our finances is what I'm looking at. But then insofar as we still have gold sold at $149,000 per kilo on the world market, yes, we are destined to make more money. And then I pray government will put it to a very good use.
Are you saying that they should clear with the proceeds coming from gold?
Oh, but whether we like it or yes, we are making as much as almost $10 billion from gold now. So definitely we have funds. We have the finances to pay and settle some of these debts, which should not be on our books anymore. And all right. I think it's a good thing that they do, but then they should also. Now I know when you talk about this, NUG will say we have started bit by bit. But then a lot of the young ones out there need jobs.
What do you want NUG to do?
NUG should appeal to the presidency that the unemployment situation in Ghana is becoming a canker.
So when you were chopping the partial guarantee, no more discount. What do you think?
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
One fan creative job.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen. Okay, gentlemen. Thank you.
But Roland,
yes,
Roland,
yes, sir.
This is a very significant feat. The payment of the 1.4 billion to resolve the energy sector problem is a very significant achievement.
The legacy debt.
And I think that the people who put this together, the finance minister, the minister for energy, the officials involved, and more importantly, the patience of the independent power producers. We need to applaud them for accepting some of the negotiations and the savings that had to happen to keep our energy sector this stable. And I want to thank them personally for the intervention. And President Mahama, of course, whose leadership has ensured all this. And it tells you, bottom line, that leadership is everything. Yeah. Leadership is everything.
All right. So I have a couple of messages. I see NewDay Atukwe, and then also Prince Nani York is also on our stream, a number of you as well. I wish that we could make sure we block some of these. Is it the scammers who tend to say they are selling data on our stream? They tend to prevent us from reading the messages and then the posts of our various viewers when they come through. All right. So I have a number of messages. NewDay Gatukwekwe says that we've not been hearing of government servicing debts in the previous government, but today the majority of Ghanaians are happy with all these positive results. And Ato Kwamina Aiken says that for the first time in Ghana's political history, the government is calm, focused, and in control, while the opposition is under pressure and scrambling for relevance. Just look at what was organized by way of a forum, they say, yesterday. Prince Daniel York says, I give a standing ovation to the president on the economy. Ghana could be better if corruption is reduced and there's no room to steal with good leadership. And you can see, you say prudence is everything. This one is coming from Kwekweron. He says that I was expecting the MPP MPs to go and picket at the premises of ISO in the US, because that's what they've been doing here in Ghana when one of their members are arrested. All right. And then also have this one from Kenzie. Kenzie says that if Ken Ofori-Atta knows very well that he did nothing wrong to hurt the financial conscience of Ghana, why is he running away from Ghana? Or why is he running away from coming to Ghana? By hook or crook, he should be brought down to face trial based on accusations and charges, you say. Simon Perez says that we are highly expecting Ken Ofori-Atta to come to Ghana. And you also say that you like the submission of Eduji Tamaklo on the subject as well. Michael Bodua Simeni says that please tell Eduji that we, the people of Pandua Lawyer, are proud of him. Can he assure us that Ken Ofori-Atta will be brought back to Ghana to account for his stewardship?
I used to, you know, Bishop Emma, I used to work for my lawyer, Mr. Michael.
Oh, really? I see. Wanante. It's a birthday of Nana Araba Kukua of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Happy birthday to you, Nana Araba Kukua of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And Mejina Kwesi says I should read this, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So Mejina Kwesi says, if Ken Ofori-Atta is wanted by the laws of Ghana, then he should be brought back to Ghana to face the law. No former minister is above accountability. When the state makes allegations against you, the right thing is to return home and respond, not to stay outside the country and refusing to come back naturally, then raises public suspicion. That's Mejina Kwesi. And gentlemen, thank you for passing through. And thank you for coming as well. I hope to see you same time next week if you have the time. Seth Abloso said Ghana could have been spared the wahala in the back and forth with Ken Ofori-Atta if the Parliament of Ghana had not approved his nomination as finance minister. The incontrovertible evidence that attests to his inability to hold public office abounds in the forensic audit on SNATE 2021. Specific to the Obotan developers case, as well as the transfer of SSB bank shares to Societe Generale.
There were too many red flags.
Seth Abloso, Accra. And Alhaji Nuruddin, you are the lead driver, or the chief driver for business mogul Ibrahim Mahama of Engineers and Planners. Wishing you all the best as well, including Pai Fianku, who is the finance boss for Engineers and Planners. Wishing you all the best for the day. Prince Henry Akwesi-Atta has also sent messages as well as many as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for passing through.
You know, Baumia is leading Ken.
No,
Baumia is leading Ken in the polls. In your poll,
The Musa Dankwa poll.
Musa Dankwa poll,
And my
polls.
and your polls as well.
No, he's just started.
Hey, no, but in all of this, I'm not
just
my good friend,
So
Professor.
Baumia and Ken,
your
who's
friend,
leading?
No, your friend, Professor Smart
Sapon, yes.
Oh no, he's here to come with.
No, he
come
came
with
out with something and then he said, in this areas, if Ken watches well, he will win.
No, he actually said that
But
Ken is leading in 3 regions.
All right, Justice
we are
Awute,
leading
University
in
of Ghana,
6
wishing you all the
regions.
best.